for this time. This is also another episode. I welcome you to another episode of the update. In today's update, we have another guest for you. And as I've always been saying, the update is a place whereby we use the forum, the platform where we use to change or encourage ourselves, to motivate ourselves and get ourselves prepared to launch into the day. Is there anything that you're supposed to be doing right now that you've left undone, or you are still waiting to get it done, or you don't even know how to start it at all? This program is for you, because this is the place where you will understand. Even hearing other people's testimony should encourage you. The update is birthed through this pandemic situation, when God told us that it comes this moment for us to understand ourselves, reevaluate yourself before you are doing what you are doing right now. It started with you first. And for everyone that wants to succeed in life, there is always a time to reassess yourself. Where am I coming from? Where I am? Or where am I right now? And where am I going? And I want to ask you this afternoon, or this moment as you are watching, where are you? And where are you going? If you take a moment to look about where you are being, that should launch you more further, because you are giving account of where you have been and what you are doing at the moment, which will help you to propel you to the next step of your life, which is where you are going. As we continue, it's my pleasure to introduce to you this afternoon, this moment on this show, Pastor Eben Alonge. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Pastor Eben Alonge. Pastor Eben,
thank you, sir. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you very, very much, sir. It's a pleasure to always be with you. I'm excited I'm here. I look forward to this time, and I'm glad that it's a reality under God. Hallelujah. Welcome, everybody. God bless you.
It's my pleasure to see you here, too. I remember the last time you came to Utah and be part of our blessing to us. I must tell you 3 things that happened that time. Wow. Number 1, it was a moment whereby we were blessed with your music.
Yeah.
Number 2, my first time of meeting you. And yes, number 3, there is something that happened after the anniversary.
Wow.
The power the Lord released
on
you when you are ministering the Sunday after anniversary. I was blown away by that.
I remember.
I tell you, it has been a blessing having you around. And
thank you, sir.
It's
sir.
a wonderful thing, knowing you as well.
Thank you very much, sir.
I also want to thank you so much for what God is using you for, even around the world.
Thank you very much, sir.
I just want to thank you. How's your family?
We are doing well. Let me quickly say again that I'm grateful again, sir, Pastor Femi, for hosting me that time. I mean, not many people will host somebody for 2 long weeks. I remember I was in your house, I was in your basement, praying, retreating. We were going for services together, going out together, moving around together. I mean, now that I live in America, I know what it means to host somebody and keep somebody an extra month in your house for 2 weeks. So I'm grateful, sir, to you and to Mama for that privilege.
We thank God. We thank God. It's our pleasure to do, to have you too as well. Yeah. It's been a wonderful time. We actually, it's a time that we we had, and we really burned that time to us well.
Yeah.
And thank God. I gained so
Yeah.
much from you during that time. And
Yeah.
I know we bless you, and I'll bless your ministry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, on this show, who is Pastor Eben Alonge?
Well, maybe we should say, who is Eben Alonge? Because every man of God is first of all a man before he becomes a man of God. So that's why it's called a man of God. So we are men. Yeah. Every high priest is called from among men. So who is Eben Alonge? So I think simply put, Eben Alonge is my full name is actually Ebenezer Oluwaseun Alonge.
Yes.
So yeah. So but I adopted Eben as my primary name, as my ministry name. I mean, like, that was beginning to, to plan to go to college, to the university. So Eben Alonge, I was born Nigeria, Kogi State of Nigeria. But my dad moved after they got married in 1973 to Ibadan. He was a military man, so he was moving around, so he kept my mom, as a base in Ibadan, and then he was able to move around as a military man around Nigeria, in the course of the Civil War and everything. So we were all born in Ibadan, 6 of us, 6 children, so I was also born in Ibadan. I had my first degree in Ibadan, my master's degree in Ibadan. I got married in Lagos, lived in Ibadan, started our ministry in Ibadan. So Ibadan is home for me. I lived 30 years, in Ibadan before God moved us, myself and my family, to North America. We were in the US for 3 years. Or maybe we are still in the US, US, that's where that's me. I schooled in UI, University of Ibadan. I had my first degree in English. I graduated in 2006. And I came to the US. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's like we are losing you for some time. They kind of breaking out. Somehow, I don't know. Can you hear me very well?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, because your line is kind of in and out. Somehow.
Oh, it's breaking.
Yes.
Is it clearer now?
Very clear, very clear, very good right now.
Very good right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because we lost some vital points that you are making,
Oh, but can you hear me now? Is it clear now?
I can hear you clearly right now. Yes.
So I said I had my first degree in UI.
Yeah.
I studied English. Then I have my master's degree. My certificate reads 2011. But it's a long story. It took about 4 years to finish that master's degree. So then myself and my family moved to the US in 2017 as I came to they call it Master of Divinity. So I live with my wife. I wonder what exactly have I mastered divinity that much that I will get a certificate for it. This time next week, Saturday, officially, is a 3-year master's degree. And that's what brought us to North America as a family, as a base, and we're
well, I really thank God for your testimony. See, when we look at the people's testimony like this, it's just like the way of the righteous, Bible says, is being orchestrated by God Himself.
Yes, sir.
Born in Ibadan, school in Ibadan, married in Ibadan. Married in Lagos. Well, came back to live in Ibadan.
Yeah.
And I started a ministry in Ibadan.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty much your growing up has always been, probably in one place
As a base, yes.
before moving out of Ibadan to, probably coming to America, and since then. Now let's talk about this your ministry.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been, dreaming or being love to be a pastor when you are young, or at childhood, or how did you get into the ministry?
Into the ministry. Okay.
Is it by your parents are into the ministry, or you just been the first to be in the ministry like that?
Okay, my story about ministry is a long one.
Go ahead.
And I may safely say that is from the time I was a child, I knew, and everybody knew, I would be in ministry. It's very, very simple. My parents were not pastors. I didn't have the kind of privilege that you have, sir. My parents were not pastors. They were just good Christians. We grew up Equa, Evangelical Church of West Africa, or Winning All. So when Equa, I was in the children's church, children choir. I've always sang. My dad is a singer. He was in the choir. Then I would always sing. And since I was I could remember, since I was 4, at least, that I was sure of. We lived in a place they call face to face. Face me, I face you, or face me, I slap you. Where there were more than 20 children in a big compound. I would gather these children together. I've been an organizer. I've been an influencer. I've been I pull people together. So as far back as that time, I would tell them that let's come together. Let us do church. And then I will be the music director. I will put stick and plastics and pangolo. They call it pangolo. Use tins together, and I will be beating the drums. Then I have a jacket I call my pastor's jacket. And I will preach. I will just mimic what I saw in church. I will mimic what I saw in the TV. But before that time that I was conscious, my uncle that lived with my parents, then that I eventually lived with for more than 10 years, would tell me that I will always follow him to church. Whenever I went on the altar to go and interpret for them in the church, I would go there in my pants, my inner wear, and I would be holding his skirt, even when I assumed that he was my father. So I've always been interested in the church thing. Then as early as 4 years old, I was in the choir. I saw what I would do at home with the children in our street. I mean, I've got 40 children. My mom is watching this. We will do church. I built church with sticks. We built church. Children will enter. We just pray and just enjoy God in our own little way. Then in church, I was in choir, and I was like a star singer. I would sing tenor. So as early as age 9, I was in the studio recording with my church choir. I remember my first honorarium ever in life was when I was 10 years old.
Really?
The man that owned D Rover Studios in Ibadan. He saw me. He saw me. He said, "This boy, the man is late now. This boy, where are you from?" Then he brought crispy notes and he counted this note and he gave the money to me. I can't forget that experience. Then again, another rich man in our church, in Equa Church those days, he gave me 10 naira. 10 naira in the late 80s. I can't forget it. He gave me 10 naira. I said, you are doing so well, you are going places. So I received an honorarium that early in life. I didn't know the meaning of it. Then at 11, I left home to go live with my uncle. And my uncle happened to be, he was in the Apostolic Church. Then in 1993, we joined the Redeemed, kind of remotely. So we became members of the Redeemed Church, and we saw Pastor Shaw minister in Oyo 1 in those days, Oyo State Province, in Bolumole. In those days, we will be part of those meetings and everything. And I grew up, in that environment. I was part of the teenage church also in what used to be Oyo 2, I don't know what they call it now, in Bodija, Power Sanctuary, Power Cathedral, with late Pastor Bolanta, Pastor, they were pastors those days. So I've always been fascinated with ministry, and I loved it. So what amplified ministry for me eventually was when I got to the university. So I got to university, and I was 100% sure I was going to be a part of RCF. Redeemed Christian Fellowship. So Redeemed Christian Fellowship was the largest campus church on UI campus in those days, more than, nearly 20 years ago. And I was part of this large, more than 1,000 students, ministering. They would sing and preach and pray the Holy Ghost. So much power, so much energy, so much excitement. And I'm like, this is crazy. How in the world this fellowship is too large? I mean, the choir alone was nearly 100 people. So I was in the choir, in the RFC choir. RFC is called the Redeemed Freshers Company. So I was the music director of that choir, and we would sing and fellowship. Then by the end of that year, I became the assistant hall pastor for Tedder Hall. Tedder Hall is one of the halls of residence, in UI. Then by my second year, by some divine orchestration, I became the music director of the entire fellowship. And that was crazy. If I was in 200 level, my assistant music director was in 400 level. You can imagine.
Wow.
I was in 200 level. My assistant, my deputy, she's still my very good friend now, Folake Igbosoya. Now, Folake. There were people in 600 level, and I was in 200 level, music director. I mean, that was crazy. So, but God gave grace. We began to, because of the passion I was bringing in and the energy that I met in the house, we converted the choir to a mini church on its own. I remember we want to do a concert. I will ask all of us to fast for 3 days, no food, no water, and we fast. And the training was rigorous. I didn't even know what I was doing, and I was still a student. Then by the end of that year, by divine orchestration, how it happened, I cannot explain. All I know was that God told me my first year, I was going to become pastor. So the current pastor of that fellowship, when I was music director, just took interest in me, Pastor Louis Academo, and he began to mentor me and train me. I remember those days, that guy is a teacher, first class graduate. I would be carrying his Bibles. He would take like 20 versions of the Bible to the church in those days. Those days, there were no laptops where we have versions of the Bible on the internet. I will carry 20 versions of the Bible in a big bag, and we will spread it on the table. And fellowship was like Bible study extended. 3 hours we are there. And I was so intimidated. But he told me that God told him I was going to take over from him. So he handed over the fellowship to me when he was leaving, and I became the pastor of RCF. And for me, that was where ministry began for real. And of course, still, I don't believe in like, okay, let's do ministry, then don't do nothing else. I wanted to become a lawyer. That one is another story entirely. But the path of the just is like a shining light that shines brighter and for me, early in life, and it may not apply to everybody. I said, God, the event you've created is an ambitious guy. He's a guy that really is driven. He has energy, so much passion. I said, God, please give me a special concession. Please, always ensure that that's the word I used, in quotes. It may not be biblical in a way, that you force me into your will. Don't let me have my way. Because you love me so much, I give you the permission. Though you have given human beings willpower to decide on what they want to do. But me, let me be a special child in your hand. Force me into your will at all times. And that has worked for me because, I mean, my brain is always working. I have plans here and there, but always ultimately that comes to pass in my life. So that's how I ended up being a pastor, and I began to have this very deep feeling. Of course, I still wanted to work. I went to Lagos. I worked. I came back to Ibadan. I worked as a manager of a company. I had an official car. I had everything. I was well paid. I rented it. I was young, official car. I had a driver even. I had a driver in my 20s in Ibadan, But one day, that was the day after my birthday, after my 28th birthday, the whole thing came crumbling right in my eyes. The whole thing came crumbling, and I lost that job in a very, very horrific manner. It was horrible. And that day, In fact, the truth is that because I was disobedient, I wasn't going to align fully to what God wanted me to do. It cost me to sleep in a police cell.
Wow.
It's a long story. I slept in a police cell, and that was January 29, 2010. January 29, 2010 was 1 week to my court wedding, and the groom-to-be was sleeping in a police cell. That night that I slept in the police cell, there were people in my house. It was a Friday night. There were people in my house that they're waiting for me in my house for a vigil. We were praying, preparing for my wedding and the ministry works and everything. And I was in the police cell. I was like Jonah. I was just determined that this was the way I was going. You understand? And God rocked that boat. And I remember, I can't forget the night 10. In that cell, I wrote that song. Jesus, you are jealous about me. Jesus, you are jealous about me. I will never trade you for another girl. I will never trade you for another thing. Jesus, you are jealous about me. To you, Lord, I give my life to you. Lord, I give my life to you. Lord, I give my life. I surrender my dreams to you. Surrender my dreams to you. I surrender my dreams to you. Surrender my dreams. Lord, I give my future to you. Lord, I give my future to you. Lord, I give my future to you. Lord, I give my all. It was in that police cell that I wrote that song, Man of God. That experience on the 29th of January 2010, I can call it my second born again experience. Because that day I gave up everything. I just gave up everything. I was tired. I was tired of pursuing. I was tired of struggling. I was even tired of doing ministry, because there's a way you can do ministry. Ambition. So ambition and vision may look alike, but the origin is what makes the difference. Come on now. The origin of ambition is usually for man.
Yes.
For me, like
Yes.
I want to go to this place. Genesis 11. Terah said, I'm going, I will go. But Terah couldn't get to the land of promise, Canaan. He died in Haran.
Yes.
He got stuck and he died. But for Abraham, it was a vision. Genesis 12. God came to him and spoke to him to get out of his father's house. You understand? So ambition and vision may look alike. So even ministry can be an ambition. Doing God's work may be an ambition. If it is not, he said, in that day they will come to me. In your name we cast out demons. In your name we did this. In your name we did that. He said, depart from me. You are, though you be a work of iniquity. How can you raise the dead and be? He said, for you are workers of iniquity. Another version says that for what you did was not authorized. On whose authority? What warrant do you have to arrest? What warrant? From who did you get the warrant to do what you are doing? So many of us, we do things, it's an ambition, it's not vision. You understand? So if it is vision, it originates from God. It is driven from God. God sponsors it. God pays the bill. If it's an ambition, it is driven by energy, by strength. And that's by strength shall no man fail. That's why people collapse. That's why people enter, they get stroke. Doing ministry, try to build church, try to gather my own people, my members, my this, my that. So we can even do church. We can do to my wedding. I've done engagements or introduction. I've done with the official car that I got. Big boy, young boy, moving, excellent. I've gone to my in-laws with the car. Oh, he's working as a manager in this company. God broke everything before the wedding. To the point that when we left the court wedding arena, 2nd of February 2010, I had to come back to the police. I slept in police for an offense I did not commit. The driver, what happened was that the driver I employed stole the company money. And they said, since we can't find him, we arrest you because you employed him. So that day was a rebirth, was a redefinition of ministry for me. So I made up my mind from that day that any other thing I would do in life would be secondary compared to an apprentice whose dad was a carpenter and naturally just become a carpenter. You understand? You know, so for me, ministry was like, it's just, but it became ignited at different junctures. It became redefined at different junctures. Like a juncture for me was when I became pastor of RCF. It became redefined. But the major redefinition for me was January 29th, a day after my birthday, 2010. That day I made up my mind that I will serve God and I will struggle no more with God. And from that day, I launched fully into what I'm still doing today, that I hope and I trust God I will do always. Yes, sir.
Oh my God. See, it's a very good thing for us to trust God. Many people feel where I just want to get something done because I love this. If you for those of you that are watching, if you are just coming on this line, I want to let you know that this is an update, and this is the place whereby you will understand. And the guest today is just our friend Eben Alonge, and you will see, you know, he nailed something right now, and which everybody, I also want you to say it again in case there is somebody that missed that word. There is a difference between ambition and vision. Is that
Correct, sir. Correct, sir.
There is a difference between ambition and, please, for a few seconds, can you just re-emphasize that word? Because that's a big word there. That's a really big word right in there. And I know there's somebody right there. What you are doing right now, is it based on ambition or you add the vision of it? There are people that get into the ministry right now because they have the ambition, and when you are working with ambition, you only looking for profit. What you looking for what you want to get out of it quickly, and those things, if those things doesn't come on time, you look for another means to supplement to get you to that your result quickly. Because vision is for appointed time. It's for appointed. That book says in the Habakkuk, it's for appointed time. Vision doesn't really give back to profit like that immediately. It takes time to process. It takes time to process.
Yes, sir.
And based on what you just said right now, I want you to actually get people to understand it more clearly.
I will explain, sir. You see, we have what we call motivational speaking going all around the world now. You can do it. Go and get it. Get it now. It's your own. It's your word. It's your life. Just do it. Express it. Yes, it is your life, but it's not your life.
Yes,
it's your life, but it's not your life. So ambition is what we get from more like from motivation. They just push. And on many occasions, listen now very carefully. We are just lazy Christians. On many occasions, ambition is the shadow of the vision. Ambition is the shadow of the vision. So if you look intently, if you are patient and you can wait on God to get God and get the instruction, your ambition usually is like the McDonald's. It's like this is in my book, my second book, my first book rather, More Than Just a Song. Moses had vision. Moses did not originate from God. Though it looked like what is supposed to be, would have lost his life. So it took him 40 years to go and convert the ambition to vision, or to cause vision to emerge from the ambition. That was why at 80, when God now called him to go and do the same thing that he tried to do 40 years ago, he said, if they ask me, who will I tell is sending me? So until the sender is God, it is not vision. Until the end is God, it is still ambition. So they may look alike, sir. They may look alike, but they are not the same. The origin, the root, the source is what makes the difference. So we must be careful of motivations that only drives our emotional and sensory, our senses. We must dig deep into the spirit. That is why vision is deeper. It's in the core. Vision is in the core. So until we break the rocks and break through, until the original thing begins to flow out, you understand? It's still ambition. 40 years to eventually realize what he was doing 40 years ago, though is the vision of God ultimately, but at that time it was an ambition that was driving him to do it. So that's the difference. If it is vision, it is for an appointed time. If it is vision, it will not pass through a hasty, quick fix procedure. If it is vision, it will come with patience. If it is vision, it will come with humility, because God will have broken us through. God does not want noise in the tabernacle. He said everything must be ruined in the quarry. So all the noise will be in the quarry, all the sweat will be in the quarry. We just come in the back in to come and really ask God, is this a vision or an ambition? By the time it is vision, we are going to realize that even the dynamics with that is not our work. We are just co-laborers in the work. So that's the level that I am at. And that is why when God said, Eben, I'm a Pentecostal pastor, I've been a Pentecostal. God said, Eben, start Davis Court, Nigeria. A year after, I will send you out. And where was God going to send me to? God sent me to a Presbyterian seminary. Seminary? How will a Pentecostal person go to seminary? Even me, I joke that seminary is a cemetery where destinies are buried. How much more Presbyterian? I mean, it's unheard of. I didn't want to go. So I applied to schools in Canada, in other places, blah, 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 blah. Seminary, 3 years of art study, rigorous study. And now I know why I went there. So it is not ambition. It is not ambition, sir. I will go to the UK and do development study, do international relations, do all those things, work in the UN. That is what I went to do. But God, if anybody told me this time 4 years ago that I would study divinity, theology. I mean, I don't need it, as it were. That's the arrogance in the heart of many of us young people. That once I have this Bible college, seminary, what is the people who are, it will make you cold and everything. Sir, it has made me a better person, because I'm not running on my own vision. I'm not running on my own ambition. I'm running on divine instruction. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Which is that is powerful. That is powerful. That is powerful. And in doing this ministry, since you came to the ministry,
yes, sir,
have there been any challenges?
There have been too many challenges. So many.
Mm-hmm.
I should share a few of them, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear some.
So one of the challenges I've faced I've faced many challenges, but I don't see them as challenges. I believe in Romans 8:28 that says, we know that all things work together.
For good.
Yeah, of them that love God and the called according to his purpose. I believe that very, very strongly. And I believe, like I told you, the prayer I've prayed to God earlier, and I believe I'm still in that covenant relationship with God, that God always force me into your will, even when it is not convenient. That has been my is that sometimes, because we have worked so much with God, we become so arrogant and we assume that we understand God so well. We know God. We have mastered God. That's why I laugh when I see I'm going to end Master of Divinity. So you have mastered divinity, then they give you certificates. You know, so it's strange. So when I was a young pastor on campus, I believed God spoke to me. Yeah. And I felt God spoke to me about who I was going to marry. So I approached this sister. You know, those that are from RCF who are online now will be laughing at me. I approached this sister who told me God told that to and everything, and then, you know, and then I believe I heard God went to mentors, and mentors said, well, they affirmed it. And we started this relationship. And this beautiful, intelligent, God-fearing sister, you know, did not finish from UI. She got admission to come to the US to study medicine and everything. And then she came. Again. I mean, that really broke. It really broke. It broke my ego. It broke everything about me, because I felt I heard God, and maybe I heard God, you know, and then the will of God. God is saying, my son, this is your wife. It takes me to agree. God, I agree. Then ultimately it takes the sister to agree too. If even God agrees and I agree, and the sister does not agree, you're my senior pastor, sir, God won't kill the sister. God will not kill the sister. And is that if the sister did not agree, the marriage will not hold. That is simple truth. Yes. No matter how spiritual you are. If Jonah did not depend in the belly of the fish, you won't preach in Nineveh. That is simple truth. Even the fish vomit him there. If he refuses to preach, he won't still preach. You understand? Because God has given every man capacity to decide. On will. You understand? So, so I mean, I was very, very broken. I was devastated. I was sad. I was angry with God. I felt God didn't talk to me very well. I felt God embarrassed me. You know, a man may be willing but unable. Man may be able but unwilling. But we serve a God who is both willing and able to do exceedingly abundantly above what we can ever ask or think. The most consistent thing in the world is God, not even us. The most reliable thing in the world is God, not even us, not even me, not my wife, not my husband, nobody. I'm not saying don't trust anybody. Trust people, but always give allowance for people, including yourself. Yes. Always give allowance for people, including yourself. Yes. Always give allowance for people. Because that's why people commit suicide. That's why people say, oh, no, I'm going to divorce. I didn't expect this from you. No. Oh, the best of man is man in man, but unable. Man may be able, but unwilling. But it is only God who is both able and willing to do exceedingly. So if you give people that allowance, we will not get disappointed with people. We will not get disappointed in people. So I felt very, very bad for many years. And I had that sister in my heart. That was a big challenge for me. And you know, me and God, the way we talk, sir, sometimes, me and God, we talk like we are padis. We are like we are friends. He's my father, he's my God. She said I can't drive. She said I didn't have bank account. She said that she just gave all those. She just disqualified me. She just finished me. I mean, big pastor on campus. God said, you know what, Eben, if you don't forgive this girl, this girl will become a medical doctor in the US. She will come back to Nigeria. She will meet you in Nigeria. God painted that picture. I was on an Okada. on her glass like this, and she said, Pastor Ben, sorry. And then she now went to do testimony in church that, I'm grateful I didn't marry this guy. See this guy that was making mouth, that he has big vision. That day, that very day, I wrote a long letter to the guy. I said, see, I forgive you, just go. Just go. So I released that in my heart forever, because when God showed me that vision, I'm like, give thanks for me. So the day I forgave her, I released myself, and I was able to move forward. Of course, I've been married for more than 10 years by the grace of God. So that was a major challenge for me in ministry. And God has been faithful. Like I said, every stumbling block, every disappointment is a redirection, Yes. So that's one major disappointment I had, that I've had in ministry as a young minister.
Yeah. Now, when you like, I realized you said something right now, about forgiveness that helped you that relinquish everything in you so that you can get into your ministry.
Yes, sir.
Now, people want to say something like, I don't want to forgive. So I can't forgive. Oh, to forgive is to hurt is something like that. To forgive is divine.
It's God.
Let me tell you, I always want to say to everybody that whoever you are still holding down, that you have not forgiven.
Yes, sir.
You are not doing that person any harm.
Yes, sir.
The only harm you are doing right now is you are only harming yourself, holding back your own miracle, holding back your own blessing, putting yourself in a cage. Your case is even more than locked down. You are locked up.
Locked up.
Yeah, you are locked up. You are sealed up. You are in a jail on yourself. You imprison yourself, because when you are locked down, you still have opportunity to just walk. You're just in a house arrest. But when you are locked up, nobody can get access to you. Now, look at what you just said, about what you did. The moment God warned you, if you don't do this, this is a picture of who you will be.
Clear. It was clear.
And it's now up to you to see that picture and work with the picture, or to see that picture and ignore the picture. But is there anybody out there, listening this moment? If there's anything you need to do to forgive somebody, so that you can move forward.
Correct, sir.
Perhaps what you are going through right now is just as a result of you not forgiving other people, or because you can't achieve anything right now because you are not forgiving people that are wronged you. Why don't you let go and let God? Let go and let God. When you let go and you allow God to do it, the rest the rest belongs to God, and you will do it in such a manner that you will.
And if I may quickly say this, man of God, sir. If I may say this, sir.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I learned in seminary in pastoral theology.
Yes.
Yeah, because seminary is very, very good. So I advise people, if God is leading you to go to seminary, please go. I've been 3 years there. In pastoral theology, we learned that people who don't forgive, unforgiveness can become toxic and become a physical.
Yes.
Can lead to cancer, depression. It can lead to, it's horrible. So one of the things you need to do, aside, just forgive and let go. I'm not saying forget, because it may be difficult to forget. But forgiveness means that even if you remember what happened, the I see the lady today, now the pain is gone. We just sit down and discuss like we are discussing a football match that just ended. Well, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because God has settled everybody. So one of the things that I did that time that worked for me was that I wrote a long letter. Like I wrote myself a letter, and I wrote that on many occasions, church again. They will say, no, don't talk about it, don't discuss it, just forget it, just leave it behind. Again, that applies to unforgiveness, then it applies to grief also when we lost somebody. Say, no, don't cry like unbelievers. No, you need to purge it. There's what we call purgation of emotion in literature. You need to purge the no. Allow. So one of the things you do for yourself, in the case of if somebody has offended you, is that sit down and recount the story, write and burn it, or write the person, let it go. Get a counselor, get somebody. When I say counselor now, in the West where we are, people pay to go and meet counselors for counseling. They will just listen to you like this. They don't provide solution. Well, that's what pastors do in Nigeria. Pastors' work is very, very difficult. They will say, articulate it. You understand? Articulate or write it so that you can leave your body and you can release it. That's one of the major ways that can help you in the place of forgiving. It's a very, very, very therapeutic, technique in pastoral theology.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that is a warning and a good thing for everybody that you are still suffering from unforgiveness. Don't say I'm working in progress. Let your work be be steady. You must make up your mind to work yourself out of it.
Correct, sir.
You must make up your mind to work yourself out of it. Either you are a believer or you are not a believer. You must learn to do what? Forgive. Because it's not for that fellow, it's for you.
For you, yes, sir.
It's for you. It's for you to live a healthy life, for you to live a fulfilled life, for you to be able to get yourself together. You must be able to stand up and forgive. When you don't forgive that person, and it's like somebody who is carrying excess luggage.
Yes, sir.
You are carrying excess luggage.
Toxic excess luggage.
Because those things, each time you remember them, they come back to you and they begin to hit on your health, hit on your dreams, hit on your progress. Because each time you remember those things, it sets you back more than the way you're supposed to go forward. So why don't you just let go? Yes. And you may not. Somebody said, "How will I know that I'm forgiven? I have to have that I'm forgiving the person." If you see that fellow tomorrow morning, will the hatred come back like yesterday? If it does come back like that, you have not forgiven.
Yes, sir.
You have not forgiven because it is still hurting, just like the way it was yesterday, and you have to come to that level whereby it doesn't hurt you anymore.
Yes,
you can be able to move forward. You can be able to launch out. You can be able to get to another place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'm based on what Pastor Eben have just said right now. I believe somebody is getting on that and working on that.
Yes, sir.
Look, when you look at the starting ministry, I've heard you. How do you, or should I say, challenges? What are the challenges that you face in the ministry itself?
In the ministry.
Now, it's in two parts. Now, when you got into the ministry, somebody, believing that, who has been your mentor, who has been the thing that you look up to, or that kind of motivates you in the ministry, as in to get you to where you are at the moment. Yes, and along the way, what are the things that you've seen that challenges you, and kind of when you look at it and say, I don't bargain for, I don't expect to see this along with my ministry, knowing fully well that the church that you pastor in UI is different from the world, totally. The one you are in this moment, totally. Because you are in UI, you have already a platform has been set.
Yes, sir. I just
said that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes,
you have a platform. You have a set up congregation.
Correct.
You just have to ask for God for more anointing.
Yes, sir.
Be able to excel in those areas. You understand?
Yes,
because
sir.
You have to keep up with the lay down rules that have been there already.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Compared to when you're now out of the place, people now start from
the scratch.
From scratch. You have to cultivate your land. You have to do everything. So, what are the things that you are doing in life.
Okay. Okay. Let me quickly say, I will start this by talking about mentorship.
Mhm.
You understand? So I called my uncle yesterday. My uncle is a redeemed pastor in Phoenix, Arizona. Pastor Timothy Femi. Maybe he's watching too. I called him yesterday and I'm like, do you know, sir, that in 1993-94, when I was very young, you were a campus pastor in Uni Ilorin, and you would lie down in the bed and cover your head with blankets and pray for long hours. And pray for long hours. And I would wonder. I said, no, I never spoke to you about it. That's about, 1993 is almost 30 years ago. I said, what you did those days put an imprint in my heart. And I can't forget it. And what I told him was that God began to talk to me that many of us who are young pastors, we like to celebrate mentors that we met on the way. Who are the front flyers, popular people. That's my mentor. That's my father in the Lord. Yes, he's good. But there are people that made you when you didn't even know what you were doing. And my uncle was one of them. So I had that burden I should tell him yesterday. So I called him and we were talking. And I told him that because he was like, I see the work you are doing great. I said, sir, this is what you did for me in 1993, 94. I can't forget it. And he was like, wow, really? And the same thing with my second uncle, his own elder brother, with whom I lived. You know, he was the one that taught me how to read Bible in English. He taught me how to preach my first sermon on the dining table, himself, his wife, and myself, three of us. He was the one that taught me how to read Psalm and then begin to use it to preach, bring out sentences. Those are my mentors. They were my mentors and they are still my mentors. So along the way, I began to have mentors. And of course, I have mentors. I have Father in the Lord. We are part of Redeemed. Pastor Deboye is our grand Baba, is our grandfather, you know. So I have mentors along the way, but of course I've been part of Redeemed. And like you said, RCA was a set platform, you know, that I just fit into and just maintain the status quo. When I left, I joined Redeemed again. I was, you know, doing the admin work, doing this and that, you know, going to camp. Then God began to speak to me about David Scott. David Scott began as in 2008, we just began, students just got together, we would pray in chapel for long hours and lead worship and sing, and I would do concerts. But in 2013, it became clear that I needed to do something more defined and something a little separate from Redeem itself. So that led me to register the ministry called David Scott Ministry International. And let me quickly give a caveat. David Scott Ministry International is not church, as we call church. And of course, church has changed. You know, the last 3 years now, the last 3 months, nobody's in church. Nobody's in that building we call church. We are the church. We are the church. Whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. We are the church. Know you not that your bodies are the temple of the Most High God. Am I saying don't go to a physical building called church? Go there to gather energy and go and live as the church in the world. That is the purpose of that building called church. We are the real church. The shadow is that building. See now, the last 3 months, the building is empty. But the church is still continuing. This is church, sir. You know? So I began to dream of doing a church outside of the box. So 2008, I began a program called Break the Rules. And that's just the mindset. Let's do something different. It's something outside of digging deep, faith clinic, Sunday service. They are good. I will still be part of it. Out of quiet time, Holy Ghost service. They are good. I still attend them, even online. But can we do something outside to benefit people that will not fit into those modes? So I began David Scott. I would gather young people and we pray, we worship like I was doing when I was young. Then in 2014, God gave us instruction to establish like a church end of it. And that's where the problem now is. Me, even Alonge as Eben, I'm not a church pastor, sitting down pastor. That is not me. I'm a planter, I'm an organizer. By the grace of God, with all humility, I believe I have some stint of apostolic grace that moves. So when we started David Scott as church Sunday morning, it was a hard work. Yeah, a very, very hard work, because now you don't have congregation. You don't want to break somebody else's church to gather people. You must not do that. If you are doing that, stop it. You understand? You must not go and plant yourself into a church with the goal of getting a sect and then break out of the place. No, that is not God. That is not godly. You know. So we started, me, my wife, and our first son. We started. People promised, a few guys promised to come. They didn't even show up. So the first service, so we were there. So the challenge there was gathering people. putting people together, building people, building a congregation. Of course, we did it to a large extent until God now began to tell me again, I see, your goal as a minister is not able to build, to gather people and say, I have 20 members, then they are now 50, they are 100. Oh, the church is growing. No, what makes a church grow is not the number. What makes the church grow is the impact you are making. Come on now. Is the impact. Is number good? Yes. Is number important? Yes. Is offering good? Yes. But sir, what makes it, what we call growth for real is the impact you are making. How many church members does Riabonke have? No. Maybe they have a church, but the impact is real. How many church members does Benny Hinn have? Maybe not many, but the impact is real. So it's about impact. Do you know how many people are being blessed by what we are doing now? And you're in your office, I'm in a room, you are in Utah, I'm in Calgary, and people are watching from all over the world. This is impact. So the moment I realized, I said, good. So I'm released. You understand? So I still do some kind of church, as in church, meet on Sunday. But the real thing is, what impact am I making? What are the streams of ministry connections that I have that I can use to impact people across the globe? So my challenge that time was, how do we gather these people? How do we put them together? How do we retain them? How do we give them bread and butter and tea to stay? No. Because I know you are getting it wrong. Just get me. When you get me, your demand is beyond the four walls of a church. So, and that's what drove us again to the US. So US again, we started David Scott, in the US in Atlanta. And this time I didn't do Sunday morning service because it's a church out of the box. I started what I call David Scott Studios. We meet on Sunday evenings to pray, to get God. Then we do special meetings, quarterly meetings, like we did where ministers, where the US ministers worship and prayer conference in January. We don't break the rules twice. We do programs. That's what we do. But we gather as a people to worship together, because the goal of the church really is that empower people for the work of the ministry. Don't bring people into the church to imprison them and make them incapacitated, make them not to be able to think, make them not to be able to travel or do anything on their own until they consult you as the pastor. That is failure in the church. The goal of the church is that we raise apostles in the marketplace. So you're like the referee, you're like the coach. You understand? They come on Sunday, receive energy, receive instruction for the week. They go into the world and become Christians. They should not be Christians alone in church. You understand? They should be members in church, but they should be Christians, Christ-like, what Christ will do in the banking sector, in the public industry, in the business sector, in the real estate, in Walmart supermarket, in Kroger. They should be. That is where we need Christians. We have too much light in the church, and there's so much darkness in the world. So the church will come together, light to empower light igniting light, then you send them out. So if you are doing that on Facebook, we are doing the same thing. If you do it on Zoom, we are doing the same thing. If you do it through our books, we are doing the same thing. If you do it through our songs, we are doing the same thing. We are energizing and impacting people for global impact in the marketplace. So those are my challenges, but I've learned through the challenge that I'm only putting the cat before the horse. So impact is a major thing. Yes, sir.
Now, as we begin to round up, now you will see that the lockdown, the pandemic, everybody talking about one thing or the other that is going on around the world.
Yes, sir.
At some point, is that God just placed everybody on hold? I mean, the pandemic put everybody on hold. I said, it's like, if we have not gotten to the place, if whatever that pandemic get into, if they have not gone into the cycle of being locked down, we have not completed the cycle. So now, but when you are locked down, when you are asked to stay at home, what are the things that you got during the lockdown time, which I think will help all the people that are watching too as well? During that, maybe that some people are still on right now experiencing the lockdown. They have not even discovered what they have to do during this lockdown time. Thinking the lockdown is just for me to just sit down at home and be watching and be sitting down and be eating and work from home, do my work. But that is too much to add, because the lockdown is for you to actually discover what you what you have in you that
Yes,
you
sir.
don't know that you have, the capacity that you have in you that you
Yes,
don't
sir.
know that you have, the dream that you have in you that have been laying down, that yet you just put in the you put them in the cooler, or you abandoned those things that you need to revisit and look and do and just change and flip over, because your lockdown moment is your time to reprocess, to get things going, get things get on, and things that have been put in a place, dust them off, and refine them to bring the good quality of them. Listen to me. Some people out there, you are out there. You've been thinking, okay, I'll get this thing done. I'll get this thing done, but you never had time.
Now you have it.
You've been busy. You've been running from one place to the other. Get this one, get that one, get this one, get that one, and each time by the time you come back, you are tired. So you have all these dreams and purpose in place, but you can't get to it. Each time you want to, you look at it and say, "Don't worry, I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow." But all of a sudden, something just happened right now that put you in a place. You don't have to go out. You are not as busy as you used to do before. Now, this is time for you to now go back and dust those things off. Dust those things off. Pick them up. Get those things. God is looking for some people to get back to Him, to talk to Him, to ask God. Now, I'm just saying that to everybody, because that was where I got the update from.
Yes, thank you, sir.
I'm not now asking you, what are the things that you are doing?
So let me quickly say that, see, this lockdown is for resets.
Yes.
God is resetting the world. It's going to be a new world. It's going to be new opportunities. At the end of this lockdown, some people will go broke. At the end of this lockdown, some people will discover their businesses. Some people are making money now. Do you know that the owner of Zoom is, I understand that he's one of the richest people in the world now, the guy that owns Zoom, you know, because he prepared, I didn't know Zoom like that before this lockdown. You understand? So for me, because of the dimension of ministry that God led me to be doing by divine, and it's important we prepare ahead of time. Christians, one of the gift of prophecy that we have as Christians is that to be able to know what the mind of God is ahead of time and speak it into reality.
Yes.
January 2018, I began Facebook prayer meeting every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. January 2018. If you scroll through my Facebook, because I started it January 2018. And a few people called me that, people that are doing all this Facebook thing, they are the people who have failed in ministry. And I just laughed. I did it because of divine instruction. I just started. And I started because the environment that I was living in the US, I felt the environment was a little cold. I didn't have enough room for expression. And God just said, you are paying rent, $1,000 every month, and is your house. Why not begin to pray and invite people on Facebook to come and pray? And that's just how I started. And of course, we still do it forever. We still do it to date. So this lockdown didn't meet me, someone like me, as a surprise. This ministry online didn't meet me as a surprise. I knew we just stepped it up. You know, so what can you do in this lockdown? Me, you asked about me now. You know, this is Focusrite. Focusrite is a recording device. So I started recording my new album. It's called Sold Out. I started recording from home, you know, with my earpiece, with my microphone, and then I'm recording. You know, people are recording me from Nigeria, from Texas. We'll be using my laptop through a TeamViewer, and I'm recording. You know, I'm doing it in the lockdown. I'm doing it at home. I just finished writing a book. How do you respond? My book, How Do You Respond, is a collection of my Facebook posts since the lockdown began. How I was, you know, encouraging people and motivating people. And I turned it into a book. Somebody's editing it now in Nigeria. It's going to come out. I will put it on Amazon and everywhere, and I will make money from it. That's simple truth. That's the title of the book. How do you respond? You know, maintaining non-anxious, non-troubled personality, spirit, soul, and body in the face of crisis. So I'm going to release that book. So somebody out there, you need to sit down. It's not time to be watching Netflix and waste all your time on Netflix. Of course, which I watch film. I've not watched film for many years, so I watched a few. I watched a few just to relax this time. But more importantly, like Pastor said, some of us, including me, is it time to hear God again? Is it time to pray for longer hours again? Is it time to fast again? Is it time to see the face of God again? Is it time? Listen now. God told us at the beginning of this year that this year will determine how the next 10 years will run. I heard it very, very clearly. He said this decade is our decade of limitless overflow. But this year, this 2020 year, this year will be a macrosm, you know, a definition of how the next 10 years will run. And that was how I was running. I didn't know there would be lockdown. Many pastors saw the lockdown. They saw it in some ways. I didn't see it. On a serious note, I didn't see it. But I now realize that what God is saying is that even you need to retreat and plan and strategize and get me clearly for the next 10 years. So for somebody here, don't get out of this lockdown and go back to business as usual. No, it's a new world. What template do you have for the next 10 years? What template do you have for the next 20 years? What have you heard from? It's time to go in now. It's been 3 months. Moses went up only for 40 days and he received the commandment that we are still dealing with today. So let us take time out to pray above all things, to seek the face of God. Not just pray about coronavirus. Pray about, see, coronavirus will go and a new season will come. What is your placement in the new season? That is what you'll be striving with for now. What is your positioning? Because people will lose their jobs and jobs will not return the way they used to be before. Yes, sir. In fact, the truth is that people, church members, some church members will not even go to church again. That, I mean, it's not a curse. It's the truth. They're like, see, we are tired of church. Now that we are getting church on this, in this dimension, maybe that it will happen to some people. So pastors should never be disappointed because it's a new world. So how do you evolve in the new world? How do you evolve as a pastor such that even though you are ministering in your church, you still maintain your online presence like God has allowed you to do it now? So it's not time to shut the online down now that the church has opened. But there are more members who will be blessed by you online. Imagine now, to come to your place 4 years ago, sir. You know, we did flights, we did hotel, we did all sorts, we did, you know, we did many things. You know, we didn't do hotel, but we spent a lot of money. But now we are doing the same thing virtually now. So church is changing. Dimensions are changing. So our prayer now is that God, what is my positioning in the next agenda? A new revival is brewing now, as we are speaking now. There's an underground revival brewing. So that at the end of this lockdown, the thing we are spoke, bow. But if you are not prepared in this lockdown, you will be out of place. So what is God saying to you? What is your, you know, we discussed something at the back scene, sir. You know, I did those moves were as a result of this coronavirus, and it was a destiny move for the next move of God for my life at the end of the corona, because I don't want to be locked down even when the lockdown is over. You understand? I don't want to be locked down when the lockdown is over. So it was a destiny move to prepare ahead because our God is a planner. So you must sit down and put your ears at the chest of God this time. What is God saying in the now for the future? That is what I believe we should be doing now.
I just believe you've been blessed. As you are watching, I know you've been blessed. And even if you think you are, it's been 3 months that the lockdown has started. You have not done anything at all. You still have more chance.
Yes, sir.
You still have time to still restructure yourself. That's why you are watching this time, to actually know what you are missing that you need to go back and pick up quickly. Don't let this time pass, because after this time, everybody will go back to their business. Some that will lose the job, some lost their job, but discover a business now.
Purpose.
They lost job, discover business. Now, when the lockdown is over, they become entrepreneur, not an employee anymore.
Yes, sir.
Some will discover their ministry, some will discover their purpose, some will discover what they have not been able to do.
Yes, sir.
Some relationships will get better this time because the relationship is lacking communication and relationship time from one another, but lockdown brought them together and they discovered themselves and they'll be able to blend everything together.
Yes, sir.
Some will begin to discover their purpose in God. Some will begin to discover their purpose in their family and everything that they need to do.
Yes, sir.
What is your purpose? As you watch it, what is your purpose? What do you want God? What do you want to discover? What do you want to say after this situation is over? It's up to you to decide.
Yes, sir.
But on our own, we have just given you an update.
Yes, sir.
What you need to do. what you need, what is God is requiring of you. Not everything not everything require. I'm waiting on God to do. Meanwhile, God has provided it. It now requires your own common sense.
Powerful, sir. Powerful, sir.
Yes.
Powerful, sir.
Powerful. So you need, God has made provision for it. It will require your own common sense to do.
You know, but instead of, sir, many of us say we are waiting on God. And for many of us, say, I'm waiting on you.
Yes.
I'm waiting on you to make it. I've spoken. You move.
You step your feet at the back of the river.
Yes,
then
sir.
The water you see, but many are waiting like the way they want Moses to stretch the rod and see first before they get into it. But God is saying, listen to me. Even though I told Joshua that as I was with Moses, but in the time of Moses, he only needs to stretch the rod. But in your own time, you need to step into the what? Into the river.
Into the water. Yes,
then
sir.
The water will part.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you step out first now?
Yes, sir.
And
by
why
faith.
don't you start picking up those things that you have left undone or abandoned, kept in place, you ignored, and let those things. Remember, Bible says the stone that the builder rejects becomes the chief cornerstone of the house. Listen, that might be your breaking point right now.
Yes, sir.
Pick it up, think about it, look into it, and let God take control of the rest. This is an update, and I just want to thank Pastor Eben for coming on this show. I want to say thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and we pray that Lord will continue to guide all your steps in everything that you do. It's a privilege having you here.
I'm honored, sir.
I am blessed. I'm blessed having you, and the way we are hearing good news and good things that you do online. I'm telling you, it's just incredible. The Lord, whom you serve, who is the rewarder of those who diligently seek Him, will definitely reward you in the mighty name of Jesus and make your wings to go, more increase in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
When next we will come, we will invite you again. I know you will definitely honor our invitation.
Yeah, my boss, I will come.
Thank you so much, and
thank
give
you, sir.
To your family.
All right, sir. Have a good day, sir. Bye-bye.
To all your viewers, I just want to thank you so much for coming and for watching as well. You have chance to watch anything apart from this one, but you chose to watch this show at this time. I want to say I really appreciate you for watching at this time. It is an honor and privilege to be your host, and I just want to tell you that I don't take you for granted either. All what we have talked about, either you have watched our past episode or you're watching the current one, I want to say something to you. Please do something about this time. What do you need to update in your life? What do I need to update in my life? The way to a success is the way you thrive, the way you work, the way you do things. Or what you need to do, just take a step. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. When you start with a step, then God will back you up. Don't be discouraged. As a matter of fact, don't even look at people that have gone ahead of you. We all have our own time that God has placed before us. Why don't you start your own time right now? Because your clock is ticking. It's ticking. Just like that. Pick up right now and do what you need to do. And the Lord bless you in the mighty name of Jesus. Until I see you next time on this same episode, go back and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I will see you again on this show, The Update. See you next time. Thank you.